It's time, and you've tuned into the Franklin County Varsity Sports Report. Now here's your host, Bobby C.
Hello, and welcome to the Franklin County Varsity Sports Report. I'm Bobby C. I want to welcome you here this week. A lot of fun with us on the show. We're getting together with Coach Brian Winslow and a couple of his players. We're going to have a chat about the season. We're going to talk about the historic moment in Coach Winslow's career as his team had a chance to make it all the way to the top, to be the champions of their division this year. And really, I just think that things are really starting to happen in Franklin County Tech sports, and we're going to talk about that here today. I want to thank our sponsors, the Four Leaf Clover Restaurant in Berniston, also by Denny's Pantry, Berniston Road in Greenfield, Hubie's, we call it the restaurant and tavern located on Avenue A in Turner's Falls, and by Albert Hearing Services, 33 Riddell Street in Greenfield. Thank you to our wonderful producer, Philippe Simone, for the great job he does. Also, you can catch us right here on GCTV at gctv.org, and also on the FCAT in South Deerfield, where we send our best to Chris Collins. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thanks, Bobby.
Welcome, guys.
Thank you very much.
Hey, great year this year. I just want to say, Coach Winslow, it was a really fun year for you guys. Sam, it was great. Good to have you. Tim, good to have you too. Yeah, Tim Fritz, Sam Bobala. These guys are continuing to play some baseball over the summer.
Yep.
And, you know, let's just get right to it. Let's just get to something that's important to me.
Yep.
We talk about sportsmanship.
Yep.
You guys got a special award.
Yeah, we were honored. MIAA honored us with the Sportsmanship Award, and it's a really great honor. These guys have worked hard, and they've really embraced the whole, becoming the whole athlete, the whole player, not just on the field but off the field, and how they carry themselves as sportsmen to officials, to their opponents, everybody. So it's a nice honor, really nice for these guys to be recognized for that.
But you know what it comes down to? It comes down to respect of the coach. I think that when you respect your coach, you respect everything around you. I really believe that, because you don't want to disappoint. I believe that as a coach for 24 years myself, I believe that if you can get, and I even say, if I can get young kids to get that, that's pretty good, right? So you want to build that relationship with the kids. And you know, it's not always easy with teenage boys to be able to get them all to be engaged into being that kind of a kid.
Well, I think that's the big testament to them. I mean, they've come in with certain standard, and you say coach for 24 years at the Little League level, it starts there, right?
Yeah,
so
it really does.
And these guys start with a good foundation of who they've played for, the respect for their parents. Their parents instill a lot of stuff in them about like what they should be doing on the field and how they should be acting towards their opponent, towards the officials, towards their teammates, and it's a testament to our whole program, really. Like, we embrace what they've already been taught.
Yep.
We have a lot of kids who've played other sports, and I'll bring up Tim as an example. Tim's a 3-sport athlete at our school, and he's been playing sports for almost his entire life, so he's had that in him a little bit, and we just kind of foster it and try to help it grow. We had our banquet last night, and our parents, we had a great turnout of parents, and it shows the support our kids have at home with their parents and really supporting the kids in all they do, not just sports, not just school. In our case, it's vocational school, so not just in work, but becoming the entire person.
You know, this guy right here next to you, I have to give huge kudos to. And Sam, I just want to say that I think what makes me happy about a guy like you is that you went and took on a full-time job this year, and you were still able to come and make sure that you made practice every day, and you made sure that you were still making a commitment to the team. And that takes a lot, man. You put in your full-time job doing what you had to do while they were in school, but you also made sure that you were there to be a leader on your team.
Yeah, just kind of,
Go ahead, just word it any way you possibly can. You know, what is it like to be able to be in a situation where you are sitting there, you're working as a carpenter, pounding nails, or there's no more such thing as pounding nails anymore. You guys got the guns now. But the bottom line is that you got to come and you got to be ready and prepared to be able to practice and get you guys ready for your next game.
Yeah, you got to be mentally prepared at work. You know, keep focused on that, and then go after that and practice and work on stuff from baseball and stuff. And it's been a couple long nights, but I think it was really worth it.
You know, it's funny that you said that long nights thing, because that was one of the questions that I brought up that I was telling Coach about was, what is it like for you guys knowing that you guys have to travel and play Westfield and the Springfield teams, and you guys are traveling to Duggan and all these other places? You guys have a lot of traveling that you guys do as a team. Does that build good relationships between you guys, that you have so much time on a bus together to be able to goof around and kill some time? What is that like? Yeah, I see you laughing because I can see, you know, really, because it's probably true, right?
Yeah. Good bonding time. Spend some quality time with teammates. Bond, enhance our friendship.
Bond all right.
Yeah.
I can say, as the bus driver also.
Yes, because that's what you do.
We do. We take our own
buses. You guys take your own buses.
I do that
Listen
too.
to our music.
What I will say is that the bus trips, yeah, they're long, but these guys are used to it. They're mentally tough. It becomes, like you said, it becomes a bonding environment, and also not only that, they start to understand what it takes to be a good team, and those times of like bonding, not necessarily bonding, but just communicating. Like
communicating is a huge part.
Communicate on a bus and joke around with your teammate. Then when you don't take yourselves too seriously when you're in practice, or you don't take yourself too serious when someone gives you criticism on the field. Like, so if someone says, "Hey, get your act together, make a play," like they know they have their best interest in
That's right.
heart.
You're not there to you know, put each other down. You're there to hopefully build them up by saying, hey. And then of course a coach is saying, hey, you know, you're supposed to be there at that position, and you weren't there, man. The ball was there, but you weren't. You know. Well, guess what? Sam did his job. I told him to throw the ball to second base, and if you're the second baseman and you weren't at the bag, guess whose fault it is? It ain't Sam's. Because I told him to chuck the ball to second base, and you weren't there to make the play. So get ready, you know, and that's everybody all working together. And the funny thing is people don't realize this, but you guys are a team that's like football. Football has 11 players. You guys have 9. It's a lot harder to get 9 people to be on the same page than it is for a basketball team who only needs 5 guys on the same page, all right? So you all have to have a position and a place to be. And what I tell people about baseball is a very hard game to learn. Would you both agree on that?
Yeah.
There's a lot to do, isn't there?
A little bit.
Tim, you know, you and I, we go back a long way, and I remember when you were a New Gilbo player, and as a youngster, you know, and playing over in the New Gilbo League. And, you know, as a coach, we all try to teach those fundamentals, you know, and sometimes kids get a little overwhelmed at first when they're first starting out learning the game of baseball, because there is so many places to be, you know. And what was it like with your experience being able to play at New Gilbo?
Well, I mean, playing New Gilbo, for me, mostly it's just I knew everybody around Franklin County. And starting New Gilbo, you know, you learn how to throw, you learn where to go for cutoff. Like, I started out playing second base. And now I'm playing right field, I'm pitching, and so.
You're doing different positions now.
And I'll give Tim a lot of credit. As a right fielder, it's some kids hear right field and they think, oh, I'm stuck in right field. To Tim's credit, he plays right field and he embraces it. Like, he knows that when there's a pickoff throw to first base, he's got to back up.
That's right.
Or when there's a play, like the play on the bases, he knows he's got to back up plays. Or a ground ball to second base isn't an assumed out. He's got to back up that play.
That's right.
So to Tim's credit it's not just right field. Right field's an important position in a lot of different avenues.
Darn right. And I'll tell you right now, I've been really instilling this into my younger players, and I'm saying to them the same thing that you did, Coach, in that outfield is just important. Why is there 9 positions in baseball? That's what I tell the kids. There's 9 positions for a reason. We need all 9. If we took the 3 outfielders and just said we're not going to have an outfield, infield only, so are you going to play second base and go run after the ball if the ball's hit over your head? You're not going to be a very happy guy, Tim. I'm going to tell you that right now. Okay? So they don't call baseball a 6-player team, okay? They call it 9 for a reason, because 9 positions need to be played. All right?
So especially as you get older, people are going to start hitting the ball harder.
Yes, they are. Exactly. And it does turn more important. It really does, especially with the way of the quality of some of these kids in their hitting. You know, some of the kids have really embraced the hitting because the kids really want to hit. That's a big thing I notice about any kid in baseball, is they care more about the hitting than any other position. This guy has no choice. He plays a catcher role. So when you play a catcher role, you're in a huge position because you're in every play, big guy. You're in every play, Sam. And a guy like you is a guy that's, as far as I'm concerned, you're one of the most important people on that field.
You have to know where the ball is at all times, keeping track in your head. Okay, this so-and-so has this arm strength. they can probably get this guy that's halfway to third. And if not, where am I going with the ball next? Where's the runner on second going? Is he staying at third? Is he trying to make home too?
Yeah. Now, do you call the game, or do you have coach usually call the game?
Normally, it's me calling.
You are calling it. That's a big responsibility on your shoulder to be able to do that. But the one thing that's great about that is that's the huge communication that you have between you and your pitchers now. Yeah. You've built that relationship, and sort of coach can be able to not have to worry about that part. Yeah. There's other things he can be able to focus on because there's a lot for him to focus on during a game too. Mm-hmm. Not just you guys.
What I will say, and I'm going to cut you off here, but I want to, to Sam's credit is he calls a really good game. Sam's a very smart baseball player. He watches a lot of baseball on TV. There's not a lot of kids that I can say watch as much baseball as Sam does and really focus on the smaller points. One good thing that he's done behind the plate is he really notices his pitcher's strengths and weaknesses. So then he uses that coupled with what a hitter's doing at the plate and can call a game based on that. And there are times that I'll call a pitch here and there, or Coach Coughlin, Sean Coughlin, who's my assistant, will call a pitch here or there. But for the most part, Sam has a really good read on hitters, a really good relationship and read with his pitchers, and he knows what his pitcher can throw and where he's working and what he's doing well.
And that's a huge thing too, because the relationship that you can be able to build, and also you can be able to help their weaknesses by what you do, and that is huge. So really, I tell people all the time, pitcher, catcher, first baseman, they're in a lot of plays, man. Yeah. And those are big roles. Oh, yeah. You know, everybody else is what we call a supporting cast, and everyone's got to do their position, but a lot of the balls are coming to first baseman to make those, those outs. Yep. And you and the pitcher, you guys are in every play. Yeah. So it's a big responsibility for a catcher, and I commend. And I know why catchers aren't great hitters a lot of times. You are underneath equipment, you're hot, you're bothered, you're in every play, you're using a lot of exertion, you're using a lot of your strength on throwing the ball back every time. There's a lot involved in catching. There really is. And for you to be able to be a guy that's, sitting in the stats on offense and also doing what you've done on defense, that really says a testament of the good year that you had this year, Sam. And I want to personally congratulate you on the role that you took with this team over the years.
Thank you very much.
And I think it's great that you're playing Post 81. And I think the Post 81 is a great program this year. You guys got some good players that are on this team.
All the best from around here.
I agree. I would say that it's a Franklin County All-Star team, no doubt about it, man. And they got some good players.
They do.
I wouldn't want to be the manager of that team because I wouldn't want to have to try to figure out who's playing and who. The only good thing about if I was managing is I'd have to be like a major league manager on this one and say, listen, you guys play so many games over a short amount of time that there might be a night where you only get 2 innings in, but you're going to play the whole game the next day or something like that. Because you know what? You guys are playing a lot of baseball. And maybe it's not a bad thing for you guys either to have a night off every once in a while just to cheer your players on, So there's a lot involved in a program like Legion. But I'll tell you right now, Legion Baseball has become very popular around the country, and especially here in this area. We got some really good teams, and a lot of communities are embracing Legion Baseball.
Yeah, and with the juniors, I did coach I was an assistant for a couple of years with Legion, and it was before they had the juniors.
The juniors is a great stepping stone.
It's a great stepping stone.
Great stepping stone.
When I coached, I wished we had it because it would have given guys an opportunity to play at that level and have an opportunity to come up if they needed to or get the innings. So I think it's a great stepping stone. It's a great program, and it's a great feeder system.
Yep.
And in Franklin County, we're pretty blessed with a lot, like Babe Ruth and the Little League programs and everything.
We're
we have a
lucky.
lot of good.
We are really lucky.
A lot of good.
And it's funny because I look at how I started out as a coach, and I'm teaching these kids that are 8, 9, and 10, and then I look back and I'll give you an example. I coached Jacob Bryant for 3 years.
Yep.
Jacob Bryant is a good player, guys. And Jacob Bryant, let me tell you right now, is a kid that I watched really grow as an athlete, and he's still very young. He's only a freshman this year, and he's got a big career ahead of him over at Frontier. But there's an example of a kid I coached who's really done well as a full player. That kid was always big in Little League, but what he did to be able to continue his game was really, really special for me. I look at a guy like Tim, and I remember him with New Gilbo, and the only reason why I remember Tim from New Gilbo is because I have been doing coaching tournament teams for years, and we used to go over we always had the tournament where they would come to our tournament and we would go to theirs. So we've had that every year. So we knew all the Turner's kids, and all the Turner's kids knew Greenfield, and they all pretty much embrace themselves. And now with all the problems that have happened with all of these other communities, like especially Pioneer with Berniston and Northfield, where you're from, Brian, I mean, look where we're at right now. Thank God that Greenfield Minor League and New Gilbo are opening their doors to guys from Northfield and from Berniston. Because where would it be for those kids to play?
Well, that's ultimately what you want. You want kids to be doing something.
You just want them to play.
We were talking about it earlier, like whether we want kids out playing the game. We want them to learn the game. We want them to be able to enjoy the game. And these are two kids. I mean, I'm going to talk to these two kids because they're right here. But these are kids who've grown up playing a sport.
Exactly.
And you can see as they get older how they progress. If you miss some time, you lose out on that progression. Even if it's at the younger age, you got to relearn everything. You got to, and from a coach's perspective, it makes it a lot harder at the varsity level to be teaching the game as to a freshman, sophomore in high school. At least these guys have had the opportunity to play, and we're very fortunate in this area to have a lot of different avenues for that.
It's very true. Now, Sam, what program did you start off with in Little League?
I started off with the Montague Rec program doing T-ball.
Okay.
And then I went to the Frontier system.
So you went through the Frontier system. Okay. So you went through that group then.
Yeah.
So you went through the Frontier system. So you had a chance to deal with like Mr. Edwards and that whole group of people that are down there? Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Edwards actually, I think, was my coach for one of the years, I think, there.
Yeah. And were you always a catcher?
I actually didn't start off as a catcher. I started off as like a second baseman.
Yeah.
And then as I got older and through the program, not many kids would do catching, so I said, hey, I'll do it one day, and just fell in love with it.
Fell in love with it, yeah. And it kept you engaged.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the one thing about being a catcher is it keeps you engaged in the game because, like I said, you're in every play.
Yeah.
So you went through the Frontier system, but you really, now, are you from the Turners, Montague area?
I'm from Millers.
You're from Millers, okay. So you're a Millers Falls kid who ends up working at that you were able to be able to play ball in the Frontier system, which, by the way, was a great system to go through. You went through a good system. You really did.
Really worked well with the fundamentals and stuff on fielding ball.
And it's funny because you two guys must be pretty good friends because you got the Millers guy and the Irving guy who are pretty close to each other. You guys must have grown up with each other.
Yeah.
Right?
Not really, no.
No?
I met him freshman year.
Oh, no kidding. And you guys were literally right around the corner from each other pretty much, right? But that's the greatest part about the tech school, man. You guys are at a school that I think has been the biggest exciting growth of sports in the last 10 years of any school in this area. You take all of our 6 varsity schools and you got to say what school has grown the most in talent and being able to make some noise. It's been the tech school.
Yeah.
But I think what hurt you guys in some ways is that the competition level that you guys do play sometimes down in the Springfield area is not always the best competition. So I like the fact that Coach Gamache and Coach Winslow and some of these other guys are saying, hey, let's play Turners. Let's play Turners twice this year. Let's get them on the independent schedule and let's play them. Let's go and let's play Mohawk and let's play a couple of these other schools. That's how you guys are going to get better. Not playing a 20-game schedule against the teams that are from down there that you guys were playing. I think that you guys playing against some of these local teams is really a good thing for your program. Yes, please do. Please do.
I want to speak a couple of things that you said. First of all, about the last 10 years and the growth. I want to give Joe Gamache a ton of credit for what he's done. What I will say, not just as an athletic director, but as a teacher and as someone who's really invested in the kids who he sees a kid, and I told Tim this earlier, he's never wrestled before, he's never played football before, but he sees a kid who looks athletic coming as an incoming 9th grader, and Joe Gamache identifies that kid and says, hey, why don't you try this? Why don't you try this? And he really gets kids to buy in, and it brings our participation numbers up. And it helps kids participate. The fact that we don't have users fees, we're fortunate enough that we don't have users fees. And the fact that is really, we're able to do that and keep our participation numbers up helps our success, I believe. And that's a credit to our whole administration that is willing to bite that bullet and say, we're not going to charge users fees, we're going to let these kids play, because some of these kids haven't done this sport before.
Right.
And Joe Gamache, again, has been a really huge asset to me personally, but also as a coach in the building and as athletic director, he encourages us to schedule, good scheduling and stuff like that. So that really helps.
I'm a big fan too. I love Joe.
So on top of that, though, our independent schedule, our kids enjoy playing against kids they know.
Absolutely. And why wouldn't you want to play against the kids you know? You know?
Bragging rights.
And you guys had Pioneer. If I remember now, is it Pioneer, Turners, and Mohawk that you guys played this year?
And Athol.
And Athol. Okay.
I don't think anybody was from Athol.
Yes.
But we scheduled, so credit to Adam Graves. I had talked to him last year about, hey, is there any way we can play 2 games? And Adam was like, that's fine. That sounds great. And Scott Minkler, he said that'd be great too for both of us.
Exactly.
So credit to them to be willing to do it.
And I think it's wonderful for the program. I think it was great that you guys were able to have an independent schedule where you guys got to play the local teams. I think that was huge. And this is what I love about this area is that when the kids are on the field, they all know each other. So it's like, all right, we're going at them, baby. It's Tech School versus Turners today. We're only right down the road, okay? And you guys are now sharing a co-op program in sports now. So some sports, you guys are already embracing kids from the other school, especially soccer. Soccer was one of those schools.
And
track's the same way. But you know what? If that's what it takes to keep the sports going, then that's what we do. And every single community should take that into their consideration of being able to say, I'm not going to give it up, but I'll tell you what, let's cooperate the teams. Look at the hockey team this year. They took every single kid from Franklin County who wanted to play and let them try out. Coach Bouchard had the best team that hockey's ever had in this area in a long time. And that was a special testament to all those kids all coming together as a group. And they're going to be good for years to come. I'm going to tell you right now, that's going to be a good team.
Absolutely.
And Franklin County Tech, you guys have more numbers in your sports than most people. Football, especially. You guys, your football program is double of what Turner's is. Double the amount of kids. You're double the amount of Pioneer. You're now double the amount of Greenfield right now. Think about this, guys. You guys have really started to build your sports programs at Franklin County Tech.
Well, and part of it's the kids too. I mean, the kids are willing to put the work in, and they're willing to put the time in. And like you touched on, Sam's working a job, but he's also able to play. Like, we're fortunate that our school allows our upperclassmen to do that. Whereas a lot of other schools, you can't have that opportunity. So we're fortunate in that aspect. But we're in a good spot right now. I mean, we're fortunate that we have good numbers and that our kids, they're coming and willing to work, and we're willing to. By the end of the school year, we had 31 kids in our baseball program. We had 17 on JV and 14 on varsity. That's pretty impressive.
That's pretty
impressive. And they were willing to stick it out. 17 kids on a JV team were willing to stick a season out. So
because you know what? He had the right number. 14 is perfect for a team. That's a perfect number. Because that way you know you got 5 guys that are on the bench, and there's 5 guys that can be utilized. Some of them are pitchers. Some of them are extra backups at certain positions. So that's a good spot for him. But trying to play 17 or 18 kids is a very hard thing.
I'm going to give Dan Price a lot of credit for that.
You have to give Dan a lot of credit for that.
He did a good job.
He did. He did a great job, you know. Now, let's talk about the year, man. 12-8. Division title. How'd it feel?
League title.
League title, I mean. League title.
I'll let those guys answer that question.
Please do.
It felt really good to see that our hard work paid off, playing Turners and them. The wins meant something and added up and finish out and made playoffs for the first time in 6 years?
6 years.
It's a wonderful feeling, you know, and for Coach Winslow to be able to say that he now has a league championship underneath his belt is always nice for a coach too. And
listen, man, it's not about me. It's not about
Coach,
me.
But Coach, you know, I think what feels good about a coach is when we know that we've put the work in too, and we know that you executed what we taught you. It's a winner. It's a win-win for all of us. It's a win for the school. It's a win for you. It's a win for the teachers, and it's also a win for the parents because you know what? Your parents put a ton of work into getting you guys, especially with you guys being a tech school student. You guys have to get a lot of traveling going on getting your parents. You're lucky. You two are lucky. You're the Irving and Miller's guy. You guys are literally down the bottom of the hill. But what about the kid who's on your team who might live in Plainfield but still loves the game? You know what I'm saying? The kid that loves the game from Plainfield but still wants to be a tech school kid but loves the game. And his parents are willing to make that trip to make sure he's at practice and goes to those games. And you think about what time you guys are getting in on some nights for games. You know, that is a testament to some of these kids and their parents making the commitment. And that's the one thing I could say is that you guys won a league title this year. Well, that's huge.
That's one thing we talked about last night. Again, at our banquet, we were really talked about our parents a lot. And we had a great support group with our parents this year. And they, like you said, they bring their kids to practice every day or pick them up from practice, and especially when they're younger, they need the rides. They don't have their licenses, so it's on a parent's whim and on their availability. And it's a big credit to our parents. Our school administration has really supported us and backed us. And like, to get back to the sports as a whole, our administration has backed our sports completely.
Absolutely.
And they've put some investment into it. Their lights for the football field are coming.
I heard the lights.
So
Everyone's talking about the lights.
They're up. So it's an investment across the board. And I think a league title, I mean, Tim, you've won 3 league titles in different sports now?
That's true.
Freshman year, there's football, and then wrestling twice, sophomore, junior year, and then this year for baseball.
Right.
And then
And wrestling, what I loved about wrestling is you had a chance to be a part of that interview. Remember when we came to Hubie's and we did the show down there? Remember that, Tim? And you guys all talked about that first, it was like that first big title that you guys had. Mm-hmm. Coach was psyched, man. That was a great interview that we did over at Hubie's over there that day with you guys. And we talked about all the individual work that all you guys have done in your different weight classes, you know? And you were it was your first year, matter of fact, I think.
No, the sophomore year, that was my second year.
That was your second year. All right. But Coach had nothing but wonderful things to say about the growth of what you were able to do that year, too. So, but you had a good year this year in wrestling as well.
Yeah, I came freshman year, sophomore year, had some big competition. Freshman year was Nate Crocker at 145. Then sophomore year was Jordan Bashaw at 152. Then this year I started off at 152, and then Spencer dropped down, so I went up to 160.
Yeah.
And I'm weighing 12 pounds less than everybody else because I was 148 at the final weigh-in for states. I placed 4th at Western Mass.
Strong boy, buddy.
I was
strong boy, Tim.
I weighed in playing 8-ball pool at states, and then I went 2 and screw. So.
But you know what the best part about it is, though, bud, is you had a chance to experience something where you knew you were an underdog going in weight-wise, but strength-wise, you competed.
Yeah.
Right?
Lifting people's pretty fun.
Yeah. Well, you're a pretty tough guy.
Well, and I think his experience in other sports helped us on the baseball side.
Do you?
Because I think that he's able to tell kids what it takes to be a champion, what it takes to be a leader, and what it takes to win. And I think that's another thing that Sam has seen playing summer ball and throughout, like in the summer. He knows what it takes to win. And I will say our kids this year, winning meant something to them. Like when they won the game against Turners, it mattered. When they won the game, and Tim actually pitched that game and pitched really well, and Sam caught a great game that game. And that was the game that mattered. And when we beat Pioneer the first time we played them, that mattered. And we went to McCann. Yeah, we lost 4-1, but we played McCann tough, and that's a team that we haven't played very well against. So to these guys, they looked in the mirror, they saw that it meant something to them, and they saw how good it felt when they won. And so to win a league title, it's a testament to their hard work, but they also saw it inside themselves about what it mattered to them and what they owned it.
Yeah. Sam, what's your next plan?
My next plan is to keep working and maybe see if I can get some baseball league.
Good. So, Have you? What was your experience like at Franklin County Tech, being able to be a part of the Franklin County Tech School Sports Program and watching how the sports program grew over your 4 years there?
It feels like a big honor to go from my freshman year with the last baseball banner being from 05.
Yeah.
And now that my siblings are going to be going there and seeing that the league banner, standing there knowing that I went and won that.
That's nice. That's really nice.
Yeah.
If you could take away one thing from your experience in playing sports at Franklin County Tech, what would it be?
Hard work pays off.
Hard work pays off. Friendships in there?
Yeah, some.
Yeah. Yeah.
We beat them up a little
And
bit.
you know, I always say that you know, it's always tough when you're dealing with a team of 14 players, because 14 different personalities, 14 different types of people, and you're all in different trades, a lot of you.
Yeah.
So that even makes it even harder, because you're not really hanging out with a lot of each other because you're in separate shops, right? Is that true, Coach?
That is interesting, because I didn't really, before I started coaching there, I didn't really think about that piece.
Yeah.
But the fact that these guys spend 6, 7, 8 hours a day in essentially their own islands.
It's true.
With their own group, and that their own group is who they interact with, and then they come outside and now they're trying to become another group as on top of it as a team, and it's hard. It's a difficult challenge sometimes. Like I know there's some rivalries between some shops, they're all friendly rivalries, but
sure.
there's rivalries nonetheless, and there's like some friendly ribbon that goes along with that, and but I think the good outweighs the bad when it comes to that, because you got kids who are used to working together as a team in their shop setting. They're used to working together on a job site, and when they come to work every day for practice, in my world that's work, right? They're coming to work and they have to now become a teammate again, and they're using the skills they learn in the workforce and in their shop settings that can directly translate to being a good teammate and being a good leader on the team. And our kids like to work. A lot of these kids work really hard off the field on other stuff, so they understand that when they come to the field, what hard work is. Now, sometimes you got to corral it a little bit and get them to go the direction you want them to go, but they understand what it takes to be successful.
Yep, and you know what? If you're going to be a student at the Franklin County Tech School, you need to take advantage of all the great tools that this school is willing to offer. And if you can be able to take it in every element that's offered to you, from the sports department, the shop, your education, and your whole group of people and teachers that care about you guys, the administration will call that, it's a better word. You put that all together, and you guys got one heck of an opportunity over a lot of other kids. You really do.
Not every kid can go work during the day, building a house, and then go after work and play a good game of baseball.
Yep.
Sure,
and you get a check too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get paid on top of it.
And you get a check. You get a little pay too. And at your age, to be able to get a nice check at your age, to be able to get experience on the job training, get a check, get to still play sports, and still be able to learn every day. That's a win-win-win-win for me, brother.
Well, I can tell you, we were talking about this on the way over, that we had 6 kids at one point on our team that were all working full-time as well. So they were all working, making full-time real money, and then coming to practice in games afterwards. And they're able to do both.
Yeah, that's a fantastic opportunity.
And I look at someone like Tim, who we've had this conversation before, and I'm like, well, why didn't you stay at Turner? A
lot of reasons.
A lot of reasons, but what he said ultimately was, why wouldn't I take the opportunity to learn something that I can use in my career? And why wouldn't I take that opportunity? And like you said the word opportunity, that's a perfect way to say it, is it gives you an opportunity, whether you work in that field or not, you're learning the skill.
Yep. And on-the-job training is the best. When I started in radio, I was in high school, and I wanted to learn radio, so WHAI gave me the opportunity to be able to learn in high school. I took advantage of the on-the-job training that was given to me. Now, 35 years later, it's as smooth as silk for me now. I can just, I don't need a bunch of paperwork in front of me to do an interview with you guys, because it's all here. It's all stored. It's all there. And that's what makes it so much fun. Eventually, you're going to be able to know how to build a home, literally, yourself. And you're going to be able to say, I can be able to eventually maybe build my own home. Yeah. And you can save yourself a ton of money, but have a lot of pride in the fact that this is your home that you helped build. How's that? Right?
It feels good.
It feels good. Tim, you're in plumbing. I think plumbing, I was just telling you the story about the plumber coming to my house, man. It's a darn good business. It's a good business, Tim. And there's great opportunities, and there's a lot of things that you can get from that. And the other thing is, too, is that you're going to also have an opportunity next year to be in his situation, right? Where you'll be working and you'll still be able to play your sports and still be able to do, hopefully, all 3 again for your senior year.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to work, but I also don't want to give up my sports.
I don't blame you.
Coming into my senior year,
you're a kid once, man.
I know.
I totally get it. And if I was your parent, I would be like, hey, enjoy it while you can. I'm being honest, because once you hit the real world, man, it's back to work, man. It really is. So enjoy these times. And like you said, this is your one last year next year, my senior year. I'm gonna walk down with my cap and gown. I'm gonna have 3 sports under my belt. I'm gonna make it a fun year. But hey, if I can make a couple nickels too, I'll take that as well.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. I just want to see you guys be able to just take what you've been able to get offered from your school and bring that out into this community. And I hope that eventually you guys can be able to maybe do some community service of some sort to be able to help out your community in any way, shape, or form. Maybe it's a guy like, coaching or something, or being able to help. Or, maybe you guys are interested in being able to be on the radio or in TV, and you want to be able to come here and maybe learn the ropes of how to run a camera or something. Maybe it's a hobby. Who knows? There's always things that we like to do,
Well, in testament to these guys, just to talk about community service, I didn't even talk about it at all, but So last year, these guys all participated in the motorcycle run down at the Holyoke.
I didn't.
The Holyoke Veterans.
Yeah.
And they brought the veterans out to see the motorcycles at the motorcycle run at the Soldiers' Home. So that was great.
That was
and then,
very rewarding.
Yeah, and
That
then,
was rewarding. That's
I
nice.
actually wasn't there.
No, but
I had bone
Oh
frog.
my God.
yeah. But most of the varsity guys were there.
Yeah.
And we actually, when we designed our new uniforms, these guys said we want an American flag on our uniforms, and that was a testament to that. That was part of it.
That's great.
And then this year we did help out at Murphy Park on their field day down
Yep.
at the girls softball. We did that.
That's wonderful.
So these guys, I give these guys a lot of credit, man. They want to help out the community,
Yeah.
like to get back to what you're saying. And
Yep.
and I hope, at least I hope that they've learned that that's part of being a citizen, and like you're saying, like
Yep.
give back to your community, and that's all part of something that you can do.
Exactly. I know that Greenfield, I guess they serve some seniors at the senior center. They did that
They've
one
done
time.
that,
Yeah.
yep, yep.
And I know that Coach Chris LaPointe does something.
Yeah, no,
for
it's great.
returners.
It's great.
So that's great. And those are the things that, like he just said, which made me feel great, is he said it was very rewarding.
Yeah.
That means that he felt that was a special day in that, That means that he knew that he was helping somebody else that was appreciative of what you guys did to go down there.
No, that's great.
And that's the best part about our veterans, man, is that they appreciate, and our seniors, they appreciate everything we do.
They definitely do.
And I do a lot for the veterans and seniors too.
Yeah.
So I'm in the same boat. I do a lot for them.
That's great.
And they deserve it. Those are the people that went out and fought for our country, and those are the seniors that did their time and put in their 40, 50 years of work, and now they're supposed to enjoy their time. And we should be able to be there to help those people.
They're the people that gave us the
Yep.
opportunity to go
That's
to tech
right.
school.
They
play
gave us our
baseball.
opportunity, and they were the teachers at one time. And now we can be able to eventually hope that the next generation is going to do the same for us.
Yeah.
We can't guarantee, but we
right.
hope, right?
Right.
So,
Step.
another thing I want to bring up with you guys, which I think is a great thing, is the fact that you guys are a group of guys who I just noticed really are embracing on the field as far as self-confidence of talking up. When I've done your games, you guys talk it up a lot. I love that. That is really, that is huge.
Yep.
And I'm going to give you an example. I did the PA one day for you guys. You guys played Turners. I remember
last year.
Yep, matter of fact, Coach Graves was a little short, and he asked me if I'd come over. And you guys were so into it, man. And I just want to say, that is in itself fun to watch as a coach, and fun to watch as a fan, is to be able to see 14 guys going, all right, come on, let's go, and that's called teamwork. It's not just what was on the field. It was off the field when you guys were sitting in the dugout rooting on the players every time they went up to hit, all right?
Yeah.
That's just good baseball right there.
That's one of the games we always look forward to.
Yeah, do you?
For most of us, it's our sending school, like me, Dan Momini, Seth Aldrich, I'm sure Max Lay, I'm sure there's a few more I'm leaving out.
Yep.
But we're always looking forward to that game. It's like, that's our sending school. Everyone on that field is someone we know. We used to play baseball with them. We know their strengths, we know their weaknesses.
Yep.
And they're just like us, but except they don't know everyone's strengths. They only know like maybe 4 or 5 people. The rest of them, they don't know.
It's true. How would they know? They would know you because you played in their league as a younger kid, but they don't know about the guy who's hanging out from Shelby Falls, or the kid that's coming over from Orange. They don't know that kid.
No.
But they know you and a couple of the other kids only. But then you remember something though, Tim. It's pretty hard to judge a kid when he's 11 and a kid who's 16, okay? Because look at you when you were 11 and look when you were 16. You're a big boy now. But I'm just saying, there's a big difference in development, dude.
Just
you know? And you've been able to, and you guys have been able to enjoy some of that great friendships at the tech school from kids that you went through New Gilbo with and went through the rec department with at Montague Recs. And one thing I could say is John Dobis from the rec department in Turners in Montague, he's done a good job keeping those programs going.
He does a great job. John does a really nice job.
He's part of the Good Feeder program too.
Yeah, absolutely.
He really is.
Absolutely, I agree.
And you look at Northfield and you look at Berniston and all the work that all those people did, and now I'm going to tell you, it hurts their feelings. I'm telling you right now, Coach.
No,
it really hurts their feelings to see Scotty Thayer and knowing that they are in Greenfield now, and the Emons came through Greenfield, and the Glazier family right now.
Great people.
All the
great
Glaziers,
people,
I coach 2 of their boys. I have Will and Jackson on my Little League team. But if we didn't if we didn't open up our leagues to these kids,
Right.
where would they be?
Well, and I think part of it too is the populations, as we talked about, right? The populations in those smaller towns are dwindling.
Yeah.
So, and my kids are 4, and there's 3 between ages 3 and 5. There's probably 30 kids playing t-ball. But after that, but that's between 3 and 5.
Mm-hmm.
So you divide that up. Now you got 10 kids in each age group, which is not enough for a team or a program.
Right.
So we're fortunate that we do have those bigger programs, the new Gilbos, the Greenfield minor leagues that are willing to take those kids. We're very fortunate for that to happen.
And the kid to come all the way from Millers Falls to go to play in the Frontier League.
Oh, right, absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely, right.
that means Frontier said, listen, we'll open it up for you, man. If you want to play,
Right.
we're going to let you play.
Well, and it's great. I mean, we want kids playing. We want kids active.
Yep.
We want kids doing stuff. And I mean, I see my kids right now, my own kids at 4 years old, loving t-ball, loving running around playing baseball. I want that to continue. And I'm sure every parent that sees their kids doing that stuff wants that to continue. And it's just, we got to keep these doors open, not closed. And we got to keep them active and keep them doing stuff.
I'm going to bring up a serious question to both you guys. And I would like to get your honest answer on this. Do you feel that we are having a problem in the sports world with parents and anger management?
I feel like, yeah.
Sometimes yes.
Okay.
Because, I mean,
Like it's almost like they want to live like they were back in the day instead of them just sitting back as a
They want
family.
to relive the glory days, and they push it on their kids to do that so they can relive it.
Thank you.
And
I wanted to hear it from you guys. I wanted to hear it from both your mouths, only because I've watched it and it's really irritating. I got to tell you guys, it breaks my heart. And you know, I think it embarrasses more than anybody is the poor kid whose parent is acting like that.
Yeah.
It's not fair to the kid. It's really not fair. And but there's so many good parents that do so many good things. But boy, what is the one thing we see at the end of a game is that bad apple that did that one incident is the talk at the end of the game. It's not about the cheering of the other 100 fans that were there in a great game. It was the person who made the really bad mistake during the game that's being the shining. It's almost like they're getting gloried by us talking about it for something that was so bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I asked you guys that because it's something that's becoming a problem where kids don't want to play sports now. And that's where I was getting at with this, guys. When your parents are not supporting you in the right way, you guys are punished from that, and then you don't even want to play.
You don't want to, if you don't learn, like if you don't have supportive parents, like, oh, you had a bad game, well, you have a game tomorrow, you'll do better that game, or
It's the way it should be. It's the way it should be. And we're all human, and we all are out
Mistakes
there to play a
happen.
game. Things happen, okay? But you can't be so critical that you're bringing it to a game and watching 100 people watch you do something like that. So my point is this, guys. My point that I wanted to get at is that it's people like you that are leaders and that people will listen to tell them that you have to look at the 100 people that are the good. You can't look at the 2 or 3 that are the bad to make it ruin the kid from not being able to have an opportunity to do something that they might want to do.
Luckily for Tech, we don't really have any bad apples like that.
It's wonderful.
It's just a big, happy, good community. I mean,
It's a big deal, man.
our sidelines, we got parents that bring us Gatorades every game. There's
watermelon and stuff after.
Even cupcakes.
You guys like the cupcakes.
But you guys get taken care of. Is what you guys get. You get respected. You get respected.
What I'll say is we're very fortunate. I mean, we are like this year, and it's been honestly since I've been there the last 6 years. That we've been very fortunate with a very good group of parents that embrace our sports, embrace our kids for who they are, and really support all the kids. Like, we don't have that one parent that's degrading the other kid because he's playing the kid's position. We're very fortunate that our group of parents, and again, the last 6 years, it's been the same thing. Like, they've been really, really supportive. As Tim talks about, we have a group set of parents that brings Gatorades to every game for these guys. And it doesn't matter who drinks it. It's for everybody.
But we already know that you guys have a good community because you wouldn't have been given a sportsmanship award from the MIAA if you guys weren't doing things right, okay? And the MIAA is going to say sportsmanship also includes the fans in the school. It's all part of the school. And they even add your parents in as part of the school as being fans at those games. So sportsmanship comes in many ways, okay? And leadership comes in many ways. And even the smallest thing can make a difference in any kid's life. And even if you guys are seniors and you know that the freshmen, like an example of, young Lay there, Max, Max is young. But you know what? If you guys know that he has the ability and you know that he has the opportunity to be able to be something special down the road, it's guys like you who need to embrace him and say, listen, a little tough this year. Seven seniors, they've been playing together for the last 4 years. A little bit of a tough situation this year for playing time, but hey, you're going to have such a future ahead of you because you've got a good start now. You made it to the varsity level at your age. Now, the next is going to be nice for you. Then you hope that he can embrace the next kid that's a freshman and let him understand what he did. And he can be able to use that as saying, as a freshman, I didn't really get as much playing time, but I did get it eventually because I stuck with it. And I think that's the one thing that kids need to understand is that if you're going to play sports, you got to pay your dues first. And I think that a lot of parents do such a terrible job at supporting the coach instead of supporting the kid that they make it sound like the kid can never do wrong. So it's the coach's fault why the kid didn't play. You know what? You got to pay your dues. That's the problem. So Coach Winslow is always in a tough spot as being a coach. And I don't care what school you're at, it's the same thing. Or what level, to be honest with you guys. What level you're at, it doesn't matter. But what does matter the most is that you guys who are the older leaders need to instill to those younger kids that their time will come. And I think that if you guys can continue to make that statement, it's going to make them feel better. You know what I mean? And
I'll give these guys a lot of credit for that because there were, like I told you earlier, there were a couple kids who were in tough spots that they were tweeners. They could have played a lot on the JV level, or they could come up and help us out in spots. And these guys helped them feel good about themselves, they made them feel like part of the team. And
exactly.
And he's brought up Max Lay as specific. His parents completely bought in, were completely supportive, and I give them a ton of credit for that because it was a tough spot for him to be in. And when I sat him down with him the first week of April and said, you're going to be with me, you're not going to play a ton, but you're going to pitch in spots, you're going to may play the outfield in spots, he was okay with it. Like he was willing to be okay with it. And I give his parents credit for that because as a parent, that's hard to see. It's hard to be on the bench or on the sideline and not see your kid play. I get it. I understand it. But I give him a ton of credit. I give his parents a ton of credit. And again, this group was special. And this group has been not just because we won a league title, not just because we won the Sportsmanship Award, but and these guys have heard me say this, but I'm proud of them for how they've handled themselves all year because it was bigger than them. It wasn't just about them. It wasn't just about individuals. It was about team. And I could really see that. I could feel it. Doesn't mean it was always easy. Doesn't mean they didn't get mad at me at times. Didn't mean I didn't get mad at them at times. But they did understand that it was bigger than just about individual. And these guys, to their credit, really embraced that this year. And even the kid who didn't play a heck of a lot really embraced not even just the success, but the work that went into the games. Because these guys, I tell them all the time, for me, it doesn't matter if we win or lose. Obviously, I want to win. I'm a competitor.
Right.
But I want us to play the right way. I want us to take care of what we can control, and that's what's in our control. We can't control the other team. We can't control the umpires. We can't control the fans. We can't control the field conditions.
No.
The only thing we can control is how we play and how we act. And to these guys' credit, they embraced that and really did that this year.
It's been great, and I could have invited a lot of baseball teams to be on this show, and I literally reached out to your coach because I was impressed with the year you had. I was impressed that you guys were able to win a league title, and I was impressed that you got that special sportsmanship award. That really, really hit a nerve with me is sportsmanship, because if you ever ask my producer, Philippe Simone, about one of the things I preach the most on this show is sportsmanship. I really do. And I just want to say that that's why you guys are here, because I wanted to say a big congratulations to you guys on the year that you really had this year. It wasn't about 12-8. It wasn't about 12-8. It was about hard work, league title, sportsmanship, teamwork. 12-8 didn't matter to me. That didn't matter at all. It was everything around it that mattered to me.
Well, we appreciate that.
And I appreciate that very much, guys, that you went out there and represented your school with the way you did. And that's why everyone in the community is proud of you guys. You talk about Franklin County Tech sports. People talk good about Franklin County Tech sports, guys.
Yeah, depends who you ask.
Look what happened 20 years ago. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, man. 20 years ago, you were lucky if you had 5 players that even wanted to play on the Franklin County Tech sports team, okay? Mm-hmm. Their basketball programs used to have 8 guys 20 years ago. That's it. Yeah. 8 guys. Yep. Now, you guys can make decisions on whether you wanted to cut people now if you really wanted to, or keep them, That's how much your program's grown. But you know what else you guys have done? You watered down some of the other good teams around here because you all took off and went to school.
Take all the good times.
When they close down, they thank us.
Right. What I will say is these guys work hard. These guys work hard, man. They do. They work hard.
Well, listen, as we wind down our last few minutes together, let's have a little fun here. Greenfield girls, Turner's girls, softball. They've been the talk since the beginning of the season. Of any sport that we've talked about for spring sports, we've talked about Greenfield Turner's girls because they are that good, all right? New alignment this year, Greenfield girls went up to Division II, Turner's girls stayed in Division III, which means now they're not going to be playing each other in like last year in the tournament, okay? So now we have a chance for 2 Western Mass championships. Let's be honest here, guys. Are they both legit?
Yeah.
They're legit.
So.
They're legit.
Good athletes, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, he's a little biased because his girlfriend's the catcher for Turner's.
Okay.
Sorry.
Me? I mean, I came from Turner's, so I'm not really biased because I don't really like Turner's, in my opinion.
All right.
I got a lot of bad blood, in my opinion. But I mean,
but if you
every
look
game.
if you look at true talent and look at the way now, would you consider Turner's Falls softball as a team or a program, guys?
A team, definitely. Like the way Gary Mullins coaches, like my cousins used to play for Turner's. It's been the same way.
Telling you right now,
year.
guys, he has built a program that is just bar none of any place I've ever seen. I'm going to tell you why. Name me do you think Coach Winslow wouldn't mind having 8 coaches on his team?
We were talking about that.
The guy's got 8 coaches.
I know.
He's got 8 coaches on his team.
They wouldn't like it because they'd have 9 sets of eyes on them. I don't know if they'd like
that's the only thing that it can be a little frustrating. But think about this, guy.
No, it's great though.
They have every tool that they need to get better. Every tool they need to get better.
That's 8 coaches to go and work one-on-one with a player that might be struggling in this area, and the coach can go work with the rest of the team on this.
One coach for every position.
It's unbelievable.
Basically.
Hey, I always told them, you're one short, baby. I told them that as a coaches. I said, we joke about it, but that's a program. Mm-hmm. But look at the Livelies. Look at Ryan Lovett, the head coach. Her father and her sister have embraced the Greenfield program, and now Greenfield softball is on the map, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, they are on the map. 2 number 1 seeded teams, both in the States today. They're playing today.
Right down the road.
One's down the road at UMass, the other's down at Worcester. And I'm going to tell you guys something. They both have a very, very, very good chance to be playing for state titles on Saturday.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's all because of the hard work that those ladies have put in. I mean, Sam Smith is a monster hitter, man, for Greenfield. And an incredible athlete, okay? But I can go on and on. You can go Reagan Hickey, I can talk about Audrey Busciano, I can talk about Olivia Joy. Yeah, and then I can go to Turner's, and I can talk about Allie Murphy, and I can talk about Taylor Murphy, and I can talk about Jay Tyler and Peyton Emery, and I can talk about Lexi Lacey. I could keep going, guys.
Right.
That is how good these programs are for these ladies.
They're willing to put in the effort in to go and work on it.
The effort in. That is the point I was getting at. They were willing to be told that they're going to practice 6 days a week and they're going to be there, and they're there. Mm-hmm. And Coach Mullins, he puts in 7 because the other day that he has off, he's preparing for what's going to be next for the next practice. That's what he does. And him and Coach Sully are amazing. So, guys, congratulations on your wonderful season. I'm serious, wonderful season. And I couldn't be more proud of you on getting that Sportsmanship Award. That means so much to me, and it means so much to this program that we're doing each and every week to let people know that sportsmanship is a big part of sports, and you guys did that. Also, I would love to see Turner's, Greenfield girls, bring home something special. That would be great for our community to have that happen. And I just want to say that you guys are really on the rise in sports. And I hope that, Sam, you continue to spread the word about how great the tech school is when you're on your way to your endeavors and whatever you do. And of course, Tim's back next year for 3 sports, and hopefully he'll be healthy and he'll be able to enjoy those and be able to enjoy his last year at the tech school. And Coach Winslow, we got many years together.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
It was a wonderful opportunity to have you guys here today, and I hope you all enjoy your summer and continue just to have some fun and enjoy the baseball that you guys are both going to be able to play this week. I know you're doing post 81 full time, but Tim, maybe you'll get some fill-ins being able to play with the Mohawk team, and they'll be able to give you some extra work, and you'll be able to have some fun as well. Maybe. All right? Thanks for having us, guys.
Thanks, man.
That's going to do it. Franklin County Varsity Sports Report. I'm your host, Bobby C. Want to thank our sponsors one last time. The 4-Leaf Clover Restaurant in Berniston, Denny's Pantry, Berniston Road in Greenfield, Hubie's Restaurant and Tavern, Avenue Way in Turners Falls, and by Albert Hearing Services, 33 Riddell Street in Greenfield. For my producer, Philippe Simone, all of us at GCTV, have a great week, everyone, and support your local athletes.
Now, where did I put that ball?